Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. And on tonight's episode, we're going to be continuing our episodes of doing our cooking skill. And as you guys can see, we're still over in this building. I told you guys we'd start at the entrance of West Freeport every single time, so you guys could see how to get to these places. This one, we're going to be ending there. So if you follow me in reverse, you'll be able to find back to that point if you happen to be new to the city and you don't know where you need to go. Now, I am at the docks right now, and I'm in the port authority, and we're talking to this NPC right here in front of us. He sells fish, these fresh fish right here, 2 silver, 6 copper a piece. Now, if you guys remember on the last episode, we made those sandwiches, right there, these fish fillets. They're pretty cool looking. A lot of people have apparently made them. There's a lot in here for sale right now. If you have any fish left over from that, you can go ahead and reuse that in this next recipe. Now, the recipe supposedly calls for 20 stacks of fish. I am only going to buy 8 because I don't think I need 20. I had more than enough left over last time. I did, however, make the mistake of not looking on the tutorial of like what I was going to make next, and I sold it back to him. So don't do that, guys. Be very careful about losing money here and there. And I think you lose like 2 copper per cell. So you're going to want to come down here to the bottom floor, come out this building, and if you take a right, you'll see there's the docks right there. You don't want to go over there. You're going to want to go in this direction. Now, be careful not to, it's not this first exit. You want to go down to the second exit because that's going to bring you in pretty close to where you need to be. And you can kind of see that there's plenty of guards over here. Don't go down this one. This will take you to West Freeport, but like I said, that's not the entrance we're really looking for. I think it might actually be a little faster if you know that route, but it's a little bit more confusing, and I'm trying to keep it as perfectly simple as possible, which means just following this wall, because you'll miss one entrance and then you'll come down to the second entrance if you just follow this wall straight up here, and you're going to kind of have to zigzag a little bit here to get up there, but you're just like I said, keeping the wall on your right hand side and then eventually zoning over into West Freeport. This skill of cooking, guys, is incredibly easy. It's not like tailoring where you need certain items that drop off of creatures. If you have those items, that's fantastic. You can make stuff out of those if you know the recipe, but you don't need them. You can't really do that with any other skill other than, say, jewelry, where you can buy the gems and you can buy the bars. It just takes a lot of freaking money. The other skills out there, you're going to have to buy the pieces or you're going to have to find the pieces off of other players or off of other mobs. You should buy them from other players, I should say, not find them. It's not on the red server. We're not PvP. But yeah, you're going to want to go over to the Caster Guild. That's going to be straight ahead over here, guys. And the reason they're calling it the Caster Guild is because you can do your wizard and mage training. All the casters are over here. It's really, the arcane, what did that say? The arcane of science or something like that on the little thing. Let me look at that. Oh, the Academy of Arcane Science. Okay, so yeah, you're going to want to come over here. It's a kind of a cool little place. I like it quite a bit. You got a little checkered floor, and then you can come up here and use that little zapping stone, which is kind of cool. You don't really find that too many places. And we're going to be looking for the same NPC we bought the bat wings from earlier on step 1. So if you have any of those left over, you're more than welcome to use them now. Of course, it depends on how much bag space that you have. I'm going to go ahead and buy, it says 20 stacks, but I'm not going to buy 20 stacks because I don't think we need that many. So I'm going to buy 8, and let me look how many I already have because I've already lost count. So we have 3 so far. So let's go ahead and buy another 5. 1 more. Okay, now, if you want, you can always go run back to the oven that's in this zone. And I'll show you where that is one more time, guys, for those of you who have not seen this already. Remember, though, you can always buy the little spit. Oh, man, I jumped off of that and missed it again. Every single time, I swear to you guys, every single time I do that, off camera, I make it. The few times that I do it on camera, never seem to want to make it. Not quite sure what's going on there. I think it just knows that I'm recording. It wants to embarrass me as much as possible. But, trust me, guys, you can make that jump. It's a little faster. I should just use the exit portal. I don't know why I don't do that. It's just, I like being a little different. I like running off and jumping off of there. But yeah, I'm going to take you guys over to where the oven is, and then I'm going to take you guys back to the entrance so that we can, start and end the episodes in that area so that you guys know how to get back to that. Again, if you're doing this skill and you're not sure where to buy the little spit that I kind of talked about, you can come over here into this building and talk to this NPC. She also has the some of the stuff you need, such as the jug of sauce on the last one, but she has this little item down here. Doesn't really cost that much. 2 gold, 8 copper. So that's well within your range if you're buying these items anyways, or hopefully it is. I don't know what level you're doing this at. Maybe you're using all your money to do it. I wouldn't suggest it. It's really not going to make you rich, but it will, give you items that you can make out in the world. Some of them are fairly kind of cool, but of course you eat them. Yeah, it's not like you made a ring that you're going to be wearing forever. This is just a sandwich. So a lot of people aren't going to pay a high price for something they're just going to eat. And there it is right there. You just run up to it, left click on it, and start making items into that. Let's run back though to the center of town, not the center of town, to the entrance to West Freeport. Now, for those of you who are kind of confused, oh, you're going too fast, you're more than welcome to go back, kind of slow it down, rewind it a couple times, make sure that you're following along with me. Once you do this a few times, it's fairly easy. Is this another one? Yeah, you got a kiln over here. We can't use that for cooking, but that's kind of interesting to know. But yeah, you're more than welcome to go back and learn the area on the videos. You kind of want to do that in any city that you're going through, because chances are if you're fighting near that city, you're going to spend a little bit of time there either buying your new level spells or selling or, getting more food or whatever the case is, banking probably quite a bit. So you're going to want to know how to get through it. And a lot of people will learn the path of how to get there and back outside the city, but they never really take the time to explore the other corridors until it's pretty, far along and it's almost too late. And they kind of regret that quite a bit because there are other things you can do inside the city. And once you know where they're at, it becomes a lot easier to do those things. So what we're going to want to do is hold down the control button so we can get one at a time. And we're just going to put these things in here. Now, these are supposed to make fish rolls. Let's see. Baking went up to 83. Okay, and we're going to want to do that. Let me see. We're going to want to do that. Actually, that's not all, is it? Fish rolls. Stacks. Yeah, that is all that we need. Okay, let's scroll down so I can see what the recipe is. What level does it say to go to? It doesn't. Batwing pie. This is where you should start to become more expensive and time consuming. Okay, so snake eggs, a clump of dough until 142. I don't want to do that. I just want to know what the level I'm supposed to be looking for. Oh, okay, so I want to go to 135. I was like, what is it doing? Like, where's the... Because I'm reading this off of the wiki, because I've never done this. So I just kind of wanted to share what I'm doing as I go through it and show you guys that it actually works quite well. Let me put these in there. We have a place to store my food. And we'll just go through a few of these now. 135. Wow, that's not too far away. I mean, it's a fair bit more than we've done with any of the other recipes, and I guess that's why they wanted you to use so many items. But keep in mind, like I said before, I am playing a Cleric, and the Cleric has a really high wisdom. He has 200 right now. If you're doing this at a lower level and your equipment just isn't as high on those stats, as I said, it uses either your intelligence or your wisdom, depending on the class that you're playing. For me, my wisdom is my power, so I've always gone above and beyond to make sure that I had as much as possible, more than I really needed. We're sitting out here in the rain. Let's move up a little bit, and we'll come over here outside the rain. Even though I love watching it, it's kind of weird that we'd be sitting out there, so we'll just sit over here and kind of look. Now, I do love the fact that I can take these with me, and I can make stuff, wherever I want. So when I start going to zones that are very dangerous, and I'll get, like froglock meat or wolf meat, instead of just kind of tossing it away and selling it, because when you do that, you don't really make a lot of money. It's really doesn't, it's like, what, 1 copper or something like that per... Actually, it didn't make anything there when I did 1 batwing by mistake instead of a fish in there with it, so that's kind of nice that it stops you. I guess you need at least 2 ingredients before it will make anything for you. So when we get to later levels where things start to get more interesting, and we'll need like pythons and Yeah, I think that's what it said on the next one, actually. We might need a pie tin. Some of that stuff is made by, like, blacksmiths as they level up their skills. So you might have to find one either in your guild or go to the East Common Tunnels and buy one from somebody if they happen to have that skill. I don't know if I'll be able to find it tonight because there's not really a lot of people on. It's real late, and there just may be nobody there with the skill to do that. If that's the case, I may think about actually working on my skill in blacksmithing, because that's something I want to do as well. I actually want to work on all my skills except for enchanters, jewelry crafting, because that's, for me, it goes to that class alone. Like, if you're going to be a jeweler, you really should be an enchanter. And if you're not, you're already kind of setting yourself back, especially for the fact that enchanters, by necessity, need a high charisma, and that's going to help you buy those bars so much better. I'm not saying no other class could possibly do it. Of course, any class could do it. Even a warrior with, like, no intelligence and no wisdom could still do it. It's just going to take a lot more money. And I just don't think I'll ever really have that cash to be able to kind of waste, on a such a long shot. So I would just make an enchanter, level them up, and then do it that way for the sole purpose of doing that skill. And it's going to be worth it for you. That's one of the few skills out there that, yeah, it takes a fortune to get to the high levels, but once you do, you make just tons and tons of money off of those items. And for those of you who are thinking, yeah, but you have to spend a lot of money to get to that point, and you're not making anything along the way, that's not entirely true. The low-level equipment, albeit not as great as the high-level stuff, is still sold and still bought. Like, my ring right now is not the greatest ring in the world. Let me close that down. I'll show you guys right here. It's a silver jasper ring. It's not a mithril or whatever the high-level one is at the moment, or the platinum like it used to be when I was running around back in the day. It's too expensive to buy those. Like, they are a lot of money, because the person who leveled up his skill had to, work for it. And so they charge quite a bit. And even if they didn't charge quite a bit, the items needed to make those items still cost a lot. So even if somebody is nice enough to give you the base components as just cost, it's still more money than I can really afford to spend on those items. So as you level up, you will still be able to sell the jewelry and the rings and things of that sort that you're making and make a little bit of money off of it, because there's still low-level people who don't have a lot of money to spend, and 2 wisdom is better than none. Of course, 8, or 7 wisdom is going to be, so much better than all of that. And they might go ahead and spend the money at later levels to progress a little bit further, go to 5 and then to 7 and then to 8 and sell their old one and make a little bit of money back on it. And that's why they're willing to do that, because those things still retain a little bit of value as long as there's new players coming into the game. And as far as I've seen, there's been tons and tons of new players coming in, so I don't think you're going to really have to worry about, the low-level stuff losing cost and just nothing but high-level people running around, all with the best gear on their tunes, even at level 1. It hasn't gotten to that point. I don't think it will ever really get to that point on this server. There's always new people coming in, and it's just a fantastic experience for most of us. But I think, guys, we're going to go ahead and end the episode here. Remember, I am at 104, as you guys can see right there. It didn't take too long to get to that point. You want to go up to 135, and I'm not really going through my stuff as fast as, I thought it might. This is actually pretty slow. So I think maybe, again, I bought too much stuff, and we really don't need all these stacks. Yeah, it's crazy how easy it is to make this stuff with my skill. That's kind of frightening. But guys, thanks again for watching. Make sure to leave those comments down below, and I will definitely catch you on the next episode.